G'day Greyhound fans, I'm Mark Duplass. Welcome along to a very special edition of Behind the Boxes. It's our last one for 2022, and what a show we've got coming up for you. We're going to preview the Group 1 Sportsbet Dapto Megastar, which comes up on Thursday night, and of course the Newcastle Cup for the Stayers. We had 2 heats held at the Gardens last week. A big race there with $25,000 on offer. Joining me on Behind the Boxes, Simon Orchard. G'day, Simon.
Hey, Duke. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you. Hey, what a night it was at Dapto last week. We had 4 heats of the Group 1 Megastar, 6 100s separated the 4 heat winners.
Yeah, you're right, Duke. 29.72 was the fastest time for On the Bus for Roddy O'Brien. And then Father Rick, which was my favourite of the heats, the runs of Father Rick and Good Odds Emma in Heat 4, they went 29.78. So not a lot between them. A really intriguing final coming up. Good Odds Emma for Jodie and Andy Lord, the favourite at the moment with the bookmakers. And I think deservedly so. She had no luck last week in her heat. She was the run of the heats for me. She nearly went down on her nose, 50 metres out from the boxes, and then still mustered. She went to the back of the field. She sliced, she diced, and she pushed her way through to qualify for that final. But really excited to get down to Dapto on Thursday, Duke. Some wonderful wrinkles in the race as well. Forever Thankful qualified for Kayla Jane Coleman. Now, her mother ran in the 2017 edition of the Megastar. Punters Bandit. Her father, Good Odds Harada, obviously won the race in 2019. And then Yuko Girl, who's trained by Sammy Sultana, he boxed Flying Ricardo for daughter Christy when she won the race just a couple of years ago. So you couple all that up with a couple of Lord runners, 3 of them, in fact, that are going for their first Group 1 titles, and it promises to be a thrilling night of chasing down at Dapto.
It certainly will. Let's recap all the action. Let's take a look at each of the 4 heats from last Thursday night at Dapto, the Group 1 Sportsbet Megastar heats.
And they're racing now. And he jumped okay, zipping Kyrgios out fast. Matter of fact, down near the inside, Forever Thankful. Pot Ethics down and out, and zipping Kyrgios tech to the rear. On the bus, leads to the back from Forever Thankful. Moving up third, Matter of Fact, then Cumbria Kid. A gap, Can You Smoke Them? Came and went, and zipping Kyrgios. On the bus to the home turn, leads though by 3, Forever Thankful. Matter of Fact, the outside, they corner. It's On the Bus clear, and On the Bus all the way. On the Bus has won it and beaten Forever Thankful. And they're racing now. Beginning fast, box 6, Yuko Girl carves over, leads it early from Bluegrass to second. Falcon Fly moved up third, and Punters Bandits weave through, getting up on the rail now. They're followed Light and Lily, Black Chili well back, and last is How Good down the back straight. And it's Yuko Girl, she leads it by 5 on Falcon Fly. Punters Bandit had to check off heels, then Black Chili up to the home turn. It's Yuko Girl, she's doing it well, a big leader. Punters Bandit's flashing home, but Yuko Girl all the way, big Punters Bandit. And they're racing, and she left well enough Coast Model down on the inside. She'll go through and she'll lead from He's Grand and wider as Mount Gower. They're followed in 4th placing Lockin Varlone, and next Hold Me Up getting up on the rail. Well back Energizer, Miss Charlie's Jar, and What a Tease. Down the back, and it's He's Grand, who leads at 2.5. Coast Model, they're clear of Lockin Varlone running on. Next is Hold Me Up, they come to the turn. It's He's Grand 3/4 to the outside. Coast Model, Lockin Varlone getting through. Coast Model the outside took the lead, and Little Coast Model beat Lockin Varlone. Set. And they're away and racing now. There's good speed here from the middle. Return Mac, but he got a heavy bump by Good Odds Emma, and she got checked out to the rear. Coming across, Enzo Herrera finds the lead from Mr. Bennington to second. Up to third now, Father Rick and Return Mac 4th on the rail. They're followed by Asaram, well back Special Blend, Funky Girl and Good Odds Emma. Off the back straight, and the leader Enzo Herrera. Father Rick looms up large on the outside. Father Rick's taken the lead, turning for home from Enzo Herrera. Look at Good Odds Emma get home, but Father Rick will beat Good Odds Emma, who should have won by a minute.
Well, as we said, just 6 100 separated the 4 heat winners of the Megastar, first and second, of course, going through into the final on Thursday night. After those heats, Simon caught up with some of the handlers and the trainers, 2 in particular, Rod O'Brien and also Sharon Webster.
Rod, On the Bus has taken out the first heat of the Sportsbet Dapto Megastar. Mate, you said it could happen. Talk us through the run.
Mate, I just thought he was on his game tonight. He's freshened up. I think that was the secret to him. Freshen him up, give him a little bit of a rest, and he walks great on the road of a morning and everything. And he was just, like I said, he's just peaked. Once he turned 3, and his last few runs have been really good. That's just unbelievable time for him. I didn't think he'd ever run that, but no, he's really, really good. That's about 20, 21 wins for him now. I'm real pleased with him.
Heat 4 of the Group 1 Sportsbet Dapto Megastar. Tell us, how you feeling?
I'm feeling really well. I'm feeling very, very excited and very proud of him.
Hell of a training effort. I spoke to Ray during the week.
Thank you.
You've gone from a 440 Goulburn Cup into the 600 metre middle distance championship, now 520. Tell us, what have the last couple of months been like for him and for you guys?
Oh, well, obviously he's done very well and we're very pleased with the way he's performed over the fours and then the sixes and now back to the fives. So that's how Ray's trained him, it's how he's prepared him, and he's done what we've asked. So it's good.
Hey, Sam, I've got to say, it's probably one of the most open megastars we've seen in recent years. The market at the moment, around $3.50 for Yuko Girl off box one. As you were saying, good odds Emma for Jodie and Andy Lord. It's currently favoured at around that $3.20, $3.30 mark. And then we've got the likes of Coast Model, who ran second in the $1 Million Chase earlier this year behind the Kennel Mate. She's a pearl. She draws box 8. She's currently at $4. Punters have got a tough task to separate these runners.
Yeah, you're spot on, Duke. You mentioned Coast Model, obviously runner-up in that $1 Million Chase. Talking to Millsy, Paul Mills, after the race, she's only won once at Dapto over the 520, and it was in the heat of the Megastar. She's had 6 attempts, so the form around her at Dapto isn't fantastic. I really think the box draw's given every dog a chance. We mentioned Yuko Girl. We all know how quick and how reliable she is as a beginner. She's bomb-proof as the lids fly, and she's probably going to lead the race. I think Forever Thankful's going to show speed from box 3, and then Good Odds Emma, the favourite, can just maybe tuck in behind them. Lochinvar Lona, for Ruthie King, loves the track, has had 6 runs there for 4 wins and ran really well in his heat. And then, of course, Father Rick, who's boxed out in 7. We know how hard it is to win feature races from outside draws, but that's where he wants to be. Ray and Sharon Webster couldn't have been happier with that box 7 draw Duke. He likes to go around dogs, and we saw that in his heat victory. He started in box 2 and he ended up the widest runner through the pen. So I think every dog is going to get their chance, and the market reflects that. A really tricky race to try and find a winner.
Yeah, Jodie and Andy Lord, of course, have got 3 runners. They've got boxes 2, 6 and 8. Good Odds Emma, Punters Bandit and Coast Model. I spoke to Andy earlier today and tried to get him to pin down one of those dogs. And look, he was quite sort of ambivalent about it, in the sense that he thought all 3 had genuine chances. He really was taken with a run of Good Odds Emma last week. And we saw in the replay, and also what you said earlier, she was an absolute monty of a run there. She's got a good beginner in box 1 in Yuko Girl. Forever Thankful in box 3. Will want to shift up the track, and it's got enough early pace to give Good Odds Emma a really nice clear passage into that first turn.
Yeah, well, that's what we hope is going to happen, or that's what we think is going to happen anyway. Look, if Yuko Girl doesn't lead, I'm a monkey's uncle, because it just looks set up for her. We know Dapto, that 520 at Dapto, isn't the strongest track for dogs. They can get out on the arm and they're really hard to run down. You don't have to be the strongest type to see out the 520. The tight turns definitely suit Yuko Girl, and maybe she's due. Duke, she's run in a bunch of group finals this year. She's always been there and thereabouts and poking her nose through, but hasn't quite pinched a big one yet. So look, I think she's going to be really hard to topple, but the dog for me, it's all about Good Odds Emma. I shouldn't have thought this last week, Duke, but I was standing on the winning post, and when I saw her spat out the back, I momentarily thought, well, I wonder if that's it for her, because she's been raced for quite a while now. I know that the Lords have the eyes on the breeding barn with her, but her run to finish off that race was superb. And we should also mention a bunch of these greyhounds coming out of that middle distance championship, over 600 at Dapto as well, Duke. So there's going to be some dogs finishing fast and furious. Last year we saw Ritzadonna shoot away and claim the title. Maybe this year it'll be Yuko Girl's turn, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, you're right. She has made a number of Group 1 finals, including the Futurity earlier this year. And as I said, look, you're spot on, mate. It would be hard to see anything leading her in that run to the first turn. And if that happens, Good Odds Emma could get that nice cart through. I'm going to pin you down. I know you don't like tipping, but you've got to tip because you're on Behind the Boxes. That's what we do. Who are you with in the Group 1 Dapto Sportsbet Megastar, mate?
Well, look, I think it's between 3 greyhounds, Yuko Girl, Good Odds Emma, and I really like Father Rick from the box 7 draw. If you're having a bet, I reckon that's the best play. Father Rick at the each way odds. He was double figures last time I had a look. As I said, boxed perfectly, and he's got some really good form. I think he's building into a crescendo in this final. He ran 3rd in the Goulburn Cup behind Melcat Big Boy. He ran 4th in that Dapto Middle Distance Championship that we mentioned. And as I said, he's finally got his box. I know Ray and Sharon Webster have been priming him for this race. They're looking for some black type against his name. And I think him at the each way play is the best value bet for punters. Yuko Girl, I just can't go past her. She's going to get on the arm. just stays out of trouble, Duke, and that's what we need in greyhounds racing at Dapto. So I think between those two and Good Odds Emma potentially, there's your winner.
Yeah, look, I'm going to go with Good Odds Emma. As I said, I take a hell of a lot of notice when Andy tells me about greyhounds and how he thinks they're progressing and that. She was another one. She was in that 600-metre series. I just thought her run last week was absolutely sensational. We know she can run blistering time at Wentworth Park as well. She's had a few looks at Dapto now. I think she's cherry ripe. And just the way the box draw's fallen, mate, with Yuko Girl on her inside and Forever Thankful on her outside, I think she's going to get a nice card in behind that pace and be too strong. $75,000 goes to the winner. Now, yourself and Mick Cowley are going to be trackside on Thursday night. I'm going to be in the studio. We've got a full live broadcast coming up for all our viewers on the dogs.
Yeah, can't wait for that. Mick and myself down there leading the charge on track. Hopefully we can get some people out to the races. I know the last couple of weeks, sadly, we've had a couple of memorial races and memorial events around the track, but we've seen a lot of punters out enjoying their time. The sunny weather has obviously helped down at Dapto, and daylight savings makes it a perfect place to come out on Thursday night to see Dapto's feature race, the Group 1 Dapto Megastar, proudly brought to us by Sportsbet, of course. And as you say, Duke, 75,000 big ones to the winner. Can't wait to see it go off. And I should just also mention quickly, spoke to Kayla Jane Coleman today. She reckons Forever Thankful is 100-1 shot, and she thinks she's no chance. But look, good on her for making it, because last year she had Tachycardic run third in the final, and she also had, obviously, the mother of Forever Thankful, Where Art Thou, a couple of years ago. So some really good form lines there for the Coleman kennel. Can't wait to get down to Dapto on Thursday night.
All right, Andy and Jody have got 3 in the final in the Megastar on Thursday night. Let's turn our attention to the Gardens, the Newcastle Cup for the Stayers over the 715 metres. They took out both of the heats last week, Corborn Magic and Silver Luck. I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to the return bout between Corborn Magic and Stagger Out Lead, trained by young Jack Strutt from Wagga, who won the Group 1 Bold Treats at Sandown a couple of weeks ago. They ran 1-2 in the heats, and it's shaping up to be that way in the final as well.
Yeah, you're right, Duke. 3/4 of a length between the pair. It's hard to believe. I was down in Wagga maybe a month ago now talking to Jack Strutt after Stagger Out Lee won the Wagga Marathon. I remember talking to him that night, having no idea just how good this greyhound could be. Went down to Melbourne, as you mentioned, and won the Bold Treats down there. Look, it looks like a race in 2. We shouldn't discount, obviously, Silver Luck from the Lord Kennel as well. And I think the run of You Know Tree really caught my eye. Duke finished off that race really well. But it's going to be a great final, and really interesting to see if Corborn Magic can live up to the high expectations that Andy and Jody have. I spoke to Andy a couple of months ago, and he really pinned this dog as one to watch over the staying trip. Disappointing we didn't get to see Bandit Jane step out last week in the heats, but we need some more chasers. We know that Super Estrella is off to the breeding barn, so someone's got to step in and fill that void and hopefully become the next premium star here in New South Wales.
Yeah, and people would have heard me talk on Behind the Boxes in recent months about Corborn Magic. As I said, I remember Andy saying after he won his very first start, a 440-metre maiden at Goulburn, he said, don't worry what he does over a sprint trip. This dog is a genuine stayer. We've seen that. He made the final and ran third in the 715 at the Gardens earlier this year behind Miss Esme. He's gone to another level just in the last 6 weeks. Andy and Jody freshened him up. They put him in a couple of 500s at Wenty and then put him back up over the distance. He's been sensational since then. Look, I'm going to go with Corborn Magic. He's been one of my dogs. He's done me a lot of favours, but I'm not discounting Stagger Out Lee. You don't win Group 1 races because you're an average greyhound. Stagger Out Lee has taken that next step up in the last couple of months as well, Simon. Yeah,
you're spot on, Duke. It's interesting, right? We have to sort of think, how much did the travel take out of Corborn Magic, obviously going down, running in that Dapto 600-metre race so well, and then going down, I think the heats were maybe 2 or 3 nights later. So went down to Melbourne, came back up to Gunning, then back to Melbourne again for the final. I think maybe that just took the edge off Corborn Magic a little bit, and now we're going to see the top liner that we all know and think can be one of the staying superstars, not only here in New South Wales, but around Australia. So really excited to see that go off at the Gardens, and maybe a little prelude to the 715 next year when we get back down there again.
You're not wrong. Listen, I'm tipping Corborn Magic. Who are you with?
We're aligned, Duke. We're singing from the same hymn sheet, mate. Hopefully Corborn Magic can get up for the punters.
And he's going to be throwing darts at this screen when he finds that out. All right, Corborn Magic from both of us. Don't forget the Sportsbet Megastar on Thursday night. Newcastle Cup on Friday night at the Gardens. Coming up next, all the latest news in greyhound racing. All right, let's talk what's making news in greyhound racing in New South Wales. And on Monday afternoon, Simon, a big announcement came with a partnership between our GAP program, Greyhounds as Pets in New South Wales, and also the New South Wales Police Association, where each one of those members now has the opportunity to adopt a greyhound. A great initiative. It got great coverage as far as news outlets were concerned. More importantly, it's great for our Greyhounds as Pets program.
Yeah, you bang on, Duke. Look, groundbreaking new partnership. I think there's 23,000 or so Police Association of New South Wales members, and basically they're going to be given instant access to some of our retired greyhounds. So I believe current former officers, they're going to get first crack. It's a scheme led by obviously Greyhound Racing New South Wales, the GAP program, as you mentioned, and Greyhounds Australasia. And I love the quote today from Rob Vella. He's the chairman of Greyhounds Australasia, and he said it's the marriage of human and animal welfare, Duke, and I couldn't have said it better myself. Look, we've come out of a really difficult period of isolation through COVID in the last couple of years, and I think the rising prevalence of mental health in society is a big issue as well. So this initiative just hits a couple of those nails on the head. You've been around greyhounds a lot longer than me, Duke. I've been with them for basically a year on the track, day in, day out. They're just so affectionate. They're so beautiful. They're mild-mannered. They're great companions. They're just beautiful dogs. So I think the more people that can have access to these wonderful animals, the better. And if I had a cap on, I would tip it to everyone involved because I think it's just a wonderful initiative.
Yeah, and look, we all know what a great job our police force do, our ladies and our gents in the police service and that. And as you said, Simon, it is a good marriage because some of these people, they see things that other human beings will never ever see in their life. And we know how tough it can be on those police officers, both whilst they're in the job and also when they retire as well. So to have something like the most affectionate companion animal that you can get in a greyhound and be able to give the police service direct access to it. There's a direct portal on our GAP website at gapnewsouthwales.com.au. They can go there. They basically get put in front of these dogs straight away. And it is something that, as I say, we talk about mental health and we know, how tough some people do it. Nurses, doctors and police officers and the fireys as well. As I said, they see things, horrific things that other people will never ever witness in their lives. If we can do something to ease that pain for them, I think it's a great initiative.
Yeah, totally agree. They see things that we'll never see and should never have to see either. So kudos to them. They do a wonderful job. All of our first responders over the last couple of years have had a really arduous task of making sure people are okay. But as I said, this is just a wonderful initiative, Drew. We should also mention that GRNSW will pay for greyhounds to be desexed, to be fully vaccinated. They'll get dental treatment. They've got 6 months pet insurance when you pick them up as well. And our friends at Real Pet Food Company will also supply 6 months of delicious food for those four-legged friends if you take them home. So look, what I've been through in life is nothing compared to what some of these people have been through. But one thing I do know for sure, Duke, I've got a dog at home. Every time I come home and I've had a rotten day, he's standing at the top of the stairs, wagging his tail with his tongue hanging out, and it just makes me feel a little bit better. So if some people out there can get some greyhounds into their home, you would see around Sydney, there's a lot of people walking greyhounds now, and everyone I run into says, I can't believe what a great animal they are and what a great friend they've become. So we want to see that more, and a wonderful initiative again by Greyhounds Australasia, by Greyhound Racing New South Wales, and of course the Greyhounds as Pets program.
Yeah, I'm here in Woolloomooloo in the heart of Sydney. I can tell you there are 2 greyhounds that live directly across the road from me in an apartment. So it doesn't matter if you think you're in an apartment and it won't suit, don't be silly. Think about adopting or even fostering a greyhound. So we've got a 2-day foster program coming up, and for all the details on that, go to our website with Greyhounds as Pets at GAP NSW. So it's gapnewsouthwales.com.au. And if you think about adopting one, hey, why not adopt 2?
Yeah, why not? As I said, beautiful animal. I know my mum and dad live next door to one up in beautiful Maitland, and every time she goes out for a walk, it's short and sweet, which is another benefit, Duke. If you don't like your exercise, they take about 10 minutes of whirlies or twirlies, whatever you want to call them, zoomies, and then they're back inside laying on the bed or on the couch next to you. So, wonderful animal. And it's something that I know that my family are going to look into in the near future. We've got 2 young kids, and apparently all greyhounds have been lovely around young kids as well. So there's another factor for families out there thinking if greyhounds are for you, give it a go.
Yep, and all the details at gapnewsouthwales.com.au, particularly that fostering thing where you can foster them for a couple of days or over Christmas as well. Okay, let's get back onto the racing track. We've got some big races coming up. Of course, Thursday night, Megastar. Friday night is Newcastle Cup. Then we go to the Christmas Gift and the Christmas Cheer at Wentworth Park on December the 17th. The Lismore Cup has been repositioned to Casino. The final of that race will take place on December the 20th. We've got the big Group 2 Gosford Cup Carnival coming up, the final on January the 3rd, and then a massive January sign because on the 14th, we've got heats of the Paws of Thunder, the National Derby, and also the National Futurity. The final of that, along with the final of the Summer Distance Plate, will be held at Wentworth Park on January the 21st.
Comes around quickly, doesn't it, Duke? Feels like just yesterday I was rubbing shoulders with Jack Smith and Jungle Juice winning the Paws of Thunder. He was, a wonderful memory for me. One of my first couple of weeks on the job and a wonderful night seeing just how good greyhound racing is at Wenty Park. So you're right. Looking forward to those feature races. I know this is the last Group 1 in New South Wales coming up at Dapto this week for this calendar year. But then next year we roll around again. We're going to emerge some new superstars. We're going to see some older dogs going around as well, and can't wait to get into 2023.
Yeah, don't forget this Thursday night, a special live broadcast. Yourself and Mick Cowley will be trackside at Dapto. I'll be in the studios anchoring the coverage with Nick Ashman from Sportsbet. So we're looking forward to that. We're on air about 15 minutes before the first race. Hey, Simon, thanks very much, mate. Thanks for your contribution to greyhound racing New South Wales throughout the year. I know you're very popular with all our people down on the South Coast where you're based. To you and your family, mate, have a great Christmas.
I appreciate that, mate. Merry Christmas to you as well. And Merry Christmas to all the participants, all the trainers, all the owners, and all the special greyhounds as well.
All right, I'll catch you Thursday night. Hopefully you can catch our coverage as well. Don't forget a live showcase coverage of the Group 1 Dapto Megastar this Thursday night. Until next time, I'm Mark Duclos. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from all of us at Greyhound Racing New South Wales. We'll see you in 2023.